Our next act is being performed by Marion Oxenhorn. Marion is a stand-up comic who has performed at Stand Up New York, Caroline's on Broadway, and is known in certain circles as America's funniest grandma. Marion Oxenhorn.
Hi. Excuse me, but the pandemic made me weak, so I'm using a cane. Anyway, I am really happy to be here tonight. To be perfectly honest, at my age, I'm happy to be anywhere tonight. I was starting to get very nervous because I have not performed since the pandemic began. But I'm feeling much better because I put on my lucky underwear. And speaking of the pandemic, I happen to like wearing a mask. It hides your wrinkles. I'm about as small as you can get in the comedy field. Hardly anybody has ever heard of me. On the other hand, Jerry Seinfeld's about as big as you can get in the comedy field. Everybody's heard of Jerry. In fact, he is so successful that he is worth about $800 million. I'm worth about $800. He's so famous that when he had a child, it was all over the news. But I'm not jealous because I know that if I have a child, it's going to be all over the news. I love being a grandma. It's the greatest gift I've ever received, the purest love I've ever known, totally unconditional. I was riding in the car with 7-year-old Montana, who was looking up at me with those big blue eyes, when suddenly I heard these words, "Grandma, you're getting on my nerves." And every week my daughter called me up and said, "Mom, you've got to take the kids off my hands. I'm ready for a nervous breakdown." So of course I felt sorry for her and I took her kids. After a couple of days, I called my daughter up. "Honey, you've got to take the kids off my hands. I'm ready for a nervous breakdown." But don't get me wrong. I love my grandchildren more than anything in the world. Now I have to check because you see, I have a very long act and I had to leave a lot out. So I automatically go to my next routine. Okay. Whatever happened to that lovely expression, "Have a nice day"? Now wherever you go, you hear people say, "Have a good one, have a good one, have a good one." What the hell does that mean? I'd love to have a good one, but I'm afraid I'm too old. I was married a long time, and one thing I learned is that the worst thing married couples can say to one another is, "You're just like your mother." So my husband and I decided to go for marriage counseling so we could learn how to communicate better. The therapist taught us to get in touch with our feelings and to start our sentences with the words "I feel." I learned to say, "Honey, I feel unappreciated and unloved when you don't bring me flowers. You cheap bastard. And my husband learned to say, sweetheart, darling, I feel unloved and unappreciated when you don't have a nice meal waiting for me at the end of the day. You lazy bitch. We got along so much better. Getting old is not persistence. You develop a personal relationship with every part of your body. When you get up in the morning, your shoulders, your back, your hips, your knees each give you a personal pain report. You have so many things wrong with you. Your bathroom cabinet is filled to the brim with medicines, ointments, and creams. It can be very confusing. I accidentally mixed up Preparation H with my toothpaste. The dentist could not figure out why my gums were shrinking. And the proctologist could not figure out why my backside was ultra bright. It's very hard to get old in this society because, let's face it, we worship youth and beauty. That's why so many people are having plastic surgery. My own daughter said to me, Mom, I think you should have your eyes done. You know, if I didn't have kids, I might never find out what's wrong with me. Anyway, I decided to go for a consultation. It couldn't hurt. I heard this doctor was a real artist, but I was a little worried. I wasn't sure if I'd come out looking like a Botticelli or a Picasso. Well, the doctor looked me over, and this is what he told me. He said, Marion, I could do your eyes, but to tell you the truth, once you have your eyes done, you're going to notice how bad the rest of your face is. I recommend that you have a facelift too. So I asked him what both jobs would cost, and he said $25,000. I told him I'd have to think about it. So I thought about it, and I followed his reasoning. If doing my eyes will make me notice how bad the rest of my face looks, doing my face will make me notice how bad my body looks. I realized that plastic surgery is just like eating peanuts. You can't have just one. When I came home and told my husband what it would cost, he said, you don't need plastic surgery. You still look just like a teenager. Sure, 113, 114. Luckily, I discovered a cheap facelift. Smiling. When you smile, your whole face gets lifted. People think I'm a very happy woman, but I'm just trying to save $25,000.